Everybody's Blastsportz. As you know, I'm your host, Jay, also known as Coach Jay. And damn it, I bring the best talent to my platform. And today I have a phenomenal defensive tackle from the Jersey Shore, WNFC player. Please introduce yourself.
Jaden Finch. I'm a defensive tackle for the Jersey Shore Wave, number 70. And yeah.
So let's dive into this.
Okay.
How did you start playing sports?
Ooh, sports in general.
Sports in general.
Um, I was in sports like super young. I think I was in like gymnastics at like 3, and then soccer, t-ball, all of that. Like I think 3 was probably the youngest that I was in sports, like organized sports anyway. But my parents kind of threw me in all of them. I've always been kind of an active kid. I always got the report card that said like, Jaden's a good student, but she talks a lot. So, um, you know, naturally they threw me into different sports and kind of saw what stuck. But yeah.
So you started playing this, and then how did that lead to you playing football?
Okay. So, in 4th grade, I transitioned from gymnastics to cheerleading. I was a cheerleader for like our Pop Warner Pee Wee team. And my dad coached football. So his practices would run a little bit longer than mine. And I would kind of walk over. And one of the days, that Pop Warner League tends to have smaller teams so that kids can get more reps. And he was like, I don't have enough people to hold the bag. Come hold the bag. So I was holding the bag in like flip flops. And these kids were like hitting the bag who were my age with their pads on. And they were just like hitting the bag and not moving. And he said, he kind of joked, like, you're already 6 inches taller than these kids. Cause I hit like a growth spurt fairly early. I was the tallest one in my class for a long time. And he was like, well, you need to come out here and play. And I kind of got that like little seed in my head. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, like I'll go play. And it was like a joke for the rest of that year. And then the next year I was like, no, I want to play. And after some, discussion about it, they were like, I mean, I don't see why not if you want to play. We had a conversation about if you're going to play, it's not going to be different for you because you're a girl. You're going to play with the boys. And my mom has this thing about commitment. Like once you sign up for a sport, you don't have to sign up the next year, but you will finish the year you started. So she said, I don't, if you hate it, you're still going to finish the year. And I fell in love with it from there. So I think I was maybe 11 was the first year that I played.
Wow.
So not many cheerleaders to football players unless you're talking about icebox, but
I was gonna say
that
that, but I was
does
waiting for you
happen
to
to
say
be
it.
my
I was
my
waiting for you to
sport.
say
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So did you do it in the game? Did you put the black and
So
and run on?
not in the game, but in order to be a competition cheerleader, my league had a rule that you had to cheer at games. So I did cheer for the younger kids in the morning, and then during the middle, like age bracket game, I would change into my pads, and then in the afternoon, I would play the football game for like
Gotcha.
the first 2 years that I played. That was every Saturday. I would cheer in the morning and then play in the afternoon.
That's a big
Um,
commitment.
yeah, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. I mean, I'm really thankful that I have supportive parents because I could not have done it without them. I was like carrying, 3 different bags to the field. So,
When your parents sat you down
mhm.
and they said, I'm gonna call you Jay. They
Okay,
s-
that's fine.
And they said, Jay, you're gonna play with the boys and it's not gonna be different. Did you get a little discouraged? Was you a little scared at that moment? If you remember, was there like, how was your feeling? Because regardless of the fact, you're like, oh shit, I'm playing, it's different. I'm not doing cheerleading no more. I'm not throwing someone up or they're throwing me up and I'm catching them. I'm gonna get hit or someone's gonna hit me. Excuse me, I'm gonna hit someone or they're gonna hit me.
Um, I don't really remember having that. Um, because like I said, I was like probably 6+ inches taller than like the tallest boy in my grade until like 7th grade. So like I always joke, I've been the same height since 7th grade. I haven't grown since then. And I'm 5'8". So being 5'8" that young is kind of like I was a pretty big kid. Um, and like back then they had the big thick black stripes on their helmet when you got like
Yeah.
weighed in to run the ball. So I had like a big old stripe on my helmet. So I don't think that was really it. I remember the first full pad practice. I was like, I don't know anything about football. And that was more it for me. A lot of the kids had been playing since they were 6 and are now 11. And I started at 11. So I was a little, my football IQ was as young as that is, was a little bit behind everybody else. I
Hmm.
think that was more for me than getting hit. Um, yeah, the contact never really bothered me. I played like way younger basketball and cheerleading. People hit you a lot, believe it or
Yeah.
not. Like there's always people falling on you. So, yeah, I don't really remember it being that. I think it was more the football IQ that I was like a little bit scared of the first couple practices. But
Did you ever wrestle?
nope,
Okay.
no, I actually wanted to, and I had mentioned it, and my dad was like, "No,
Okay.
we're not doing that. You were gonna stick to cheerleading and football for now. We'll, you know, go from there." And then I played softball for a little bit when I was younger too, so that covers all three of the seasons. So
Okay.
wrestling would have fallen during cheer season. So
And how long did you play basketball?
not long. I played like when I was super super little for 1 year, and ironically, I knocked a little girl over, and I felt bad, so then I quit.
So your defensive tackles kicked in. Your
Yeah,
defensive
yeah, yeah,
skills
yeah,
kicked in at a young age.
yeah,
Because when I look at you practice, you got quick feet. So I'm trying to figure out where you got that from. Um, and so that's
yeah. Are you a little frozen? Okay.
okay.
Honestly, go ahead.
No, no, it's no. But you heard what I
Oh,
said, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yep. Um, I don't. I think it just came from, well, first of all, my cheer coach would kill me. My old cheer coach would kill me if I didn't say like she was a stickler about you don't walk to your spot, you run to your spot. So that was always like trained in us. I was a college thrower for track and field, so a lot of that is like quick, get off, a lot of plyos, things like
Okay,
that. So I would say that, and I from playing previous, I was actually, again, believe it or not, the slowest one on my high school team. So I think like having that to push me or pull me along made me better as well. Um, but I think my most recent training for college would probably be what put me where I am now. Anyway,
gotcha. So you play high school.
hmm
It's over. How was the
right.
high school experience playing? How was it like playing high school football?
It was nothing short of amazing. I loved it. I loved all of my teammates.
Hmm.
I think I had a really unique experience. I didn't really run into as much of the like people making fun of me or there were comments here and there, as always, but my coaches really had my back, my teammates really had my back. And they really leaned into like, I don't know if you've ever seen the long shots, but
Yes.
they have this like scene and he's like, once you put your helmet on, you're not a girl, you're not a boy, you're a football
Yes, I seen that movie. I definitely did. Oh, God, this is killing me. Um, oh man. So
player. It is.
okay. So the I seen the long shots. That's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
You go to college, but you can't play no more.
Right.
How hard was it your last game of high school? Because you can't play in college.
It was really hard for me. My team was really competitive in high school. And it was a big football school. Everybody was like family. There were definitely some tears my last game in high school. Um, I knew I was going on to bigger things.
So you was going. I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
Where did you hear that? I'm sorry.
You said you knew you was going into bigger things and you stopped.
Just that like I knew I was going into bigger things. It didn't make it less sad. I also shortly after being done with football, like I roll right into cheer. Like the first week and the last week kind of overlapped a lot of the time. So there wasn't a lot of time to like think about it. And then shortly after that I tore my ACL. So there was like some there was a lot happening during that time of like my life, I guess. So I was very, very, very sad to see football end. But then I had my senior season of cheer, my senior season of track, and then I at that point I had already known I was going to continue to throw in college. So um, I knew it was kind of like you have to shift like your mindset. But leaving football was definitely hard. It's definitely my favorite sport to play.
You
Always has been.
you hung up the pads.
Hmm.
Season's over. Now you're going into college. You start throwing, doing your thing. How hard was it to lean on that leg that you tore your ACL on? And when did you start getting comfortable? Because I hear
Mm.
that there's a mental block there, and you get scared to put pressure. Because I know someone that tore his ACL, and he told me that when we were like running, he was like, Jays, that I get scared.
I had a phenomenal surgeon. And he is also a sports med doctor. So he was a little bit more aggressive with my recovery than I feel like some doctors are. He wanted me like walking, I think like 10 days out of surgery. He wanted me like full range of motion a little bit earlier than you would typically hear. I never had like a prescribed brace that I needed to wear or anything. Like he wanted me to be comfortable on it as soon as I could. I also had a phenomenal physical therapist. He is a professor of physical therapy at Binghamton University. So he really helped me kind of get comfortable again. I would say like at that 6 month mark, I started feeling mentally like comfortable to start throwing again. Um, I also had the advantage that I didn't have to do contact sports again. So, well, I didn't think I had to do contact sports again. So it wasn't something I was like as worried about. And then like jumping and cutting, I feel like probably took me about a year to get
Gotcha.
back. Like, yeah.
You finish college, you're doing your thing, you get the itch to play. There's because of your pack, you must have gotten that itch. Damn, I want to play again. I want to play again.
Yeah, yeah,
I wish there was a football league, and then you find out.
yeah. Mhm.
When did you find out about the Jersey Shore Waves? How did you find out? And what made you say, besides the itch, I know you get it, but what was that defining moment you're like, yeah, I'm ready to kick some ass?
So I think it was like a kind of snowball of things. Like I remember I graduated high school in 2017 and the league had their first season in 2018. And I was like, of course, like the league's gonna come out the year that I have to go, be in college and do track or whatever.
Mhm.
So I kind of like knew about it. I was following it a little bit the first like couple of years of the league. And then COVID happened, and when people started to come back from COVID, I knew that DC had a team, and I was like, well, at that point, Jersey still didn't have a team. And then I think I saw something, maybe it was like someone had posted something. I think maybe it was Meg, actually. I posted something about she plays for Jersey Shore. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's that league that I had seen. I didn't know that they were still expanding teams. And I looked into it a little bit. There was a thing to put your name in for tryouts. And I didn't really think much of it. I was like, well, if they contact me, they contact me. If they don't, they don't. Um, and then Gina does our recruiting. She texted me. I got a text from her one day, and it was kind of it from there. But I think I found out pretty late, to be honest. It was like maybe September or August of last year that I put my name in, and then tryouts were in October. So I think, yeah, October. So it wasn't much before the season started that I found out about a team this close, and I say close because it's not really that
Yeah,
close
it's
to
not
me,
close to
but
you. It's not
yeah,
close to
yeah,
you at all.
yeah.
You had 30 days to train and get ready.
Mm.
Who helped you with your training?
Mm. I do. I coach at a college up here, so I do have like that benefit that I have like a weight room at my disposal, and I already do programming a little bit for my athletes, so that was part of it. And then the football skills part of it, like my dad and I kind of got talking about it a little bit. He was like, "You're gonna have to." I hadn't been in a 3 point stance in probably 8 years, so those things took me a little bit of getting used to again, but.
Was you excited when you got the call and you was like, hey, you made the team?
Yeah, I was really there were a lot of people at tryouts and a lot of the tryout was running based. And so for a lineman that's really hard, right? There's not a lot of chance or opportunity to show the lineman based skills. There wasn't really a lot of like
Yeah.
hitting. Nobody has pads yet or helmets. So that made me really nervous. I know that like foot speed tends to be a weaker area for me. So once I found out I made the team, I was excited, ready for the opportunity to get back in those skills. So yeah, I was excited beyond measure to get back into it.
Did you cry?
No, I'm a crier, but not like I'm not really a happy crier.
Okay.
But
So here's the $1 million question. Why defensive line?
Mm. So I kind of rolled into this team not like I knew I was going to be line of some degree. I didn't really think they were going to put me in a skill position. Um, but I kind of came in with more of an open mindset of like, however you guys feel like I would fit best with your team, that's where I want to be. So I did have a couple of practices with O line. I had a couple of practices with D line. And when I got talking to the coaches a little bit, I played both sides of the ball, like previous, so I have
Hmm.
experience on both sides. Um, and they honestly kind of picked for they kind of picked for me. I think they kind of did like a dodgeball, and they were like, "Well, I'm getting this one, and you're getting this one," and
Okay,
they went between each other and figured out what personnel fit.
gotcha.
Um, and so I think they just kind of decided. I would have been happy to be wherever the team needed me though, and that still stands. So
I got you.
maybe
Look,
next year
you
I'll
like
be somewhere else. But
shout out to my girl Outlaw, but you like her. You have that same attitude. Like whatever, I don't
yeah,
care.
yeah,
If she said what you said, she goes, if I got to give water out to the team to win, I'll give out water.
absolutely,
Now,
absolutely.
I seen you play offensive line. I seen you play defensive line because I've
Mm.
been honored enough where you ladies allowed me to attend the practice. Your skill set on both sides is very high, and your IQ. So my question is, you playing defensive line, you know how to play offensive line. You kind of know the stance. How much does that benefit you? That you know what your opponent's thinking. In essence,
Mm.
you kind of have a cheat sheet because you play both sides of the ball.
I think it's really important to know what your counterpart does. So if you're a safety, it's really important to know kind of what a receiver might be doing. If you're
Mhm.
offensive line, it's good to know what your defensive line would be doing. So it's the basics on both sides of the ball are the same, right? It's usually lowest man wins, quickest man wins kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, but knowing, maybe this team is more of a zone block. Maybe this team is this center never blocks this guard. They always are going to the linebacker. That's important on our end to know where the personnel is going to be. So I think having that football knowledge is really good for like gearing up toward games. Um, but yeah, I guess that's what I would say. Like
Yeah,
the skills on both sides are very similar, but knowing, where to be, that's more important when you get closer to game time.
so you pay attention to tendencies.
Yeah. Or yeah,
You
I think
should.
most
I
of the
mean,
line
if
does,
you
to be
play
honest.
sports, if you don't pay attention to tendencies, then you're not doing your job. Everyone has a tendency. I don't care who you are. Everybody has a tendency, and it seems like you're picking up on that. That's awesome. But what is your favorite part about playing defensive line?
Mm. I really like just like the aggression.
Hmm.
I think we're at a good place with our entire line right now where we just want to we're like a hard-nosed bunch of people. Um and we always joke, like I saw Butts's interview and she was talking about like you gotta have like a couple screws loose.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of like the fun part about defense is like it's a little bit less memorization. Like our offensive line, I have to hand it to them. They have so many plays to remember and so
Yeah.
much like information that it's really hard to think about all those things and still be playing like 130%. So I think that's where um my favorite for defensive line comes in is like I like to be able to have like these are the four places I could have to go and I'm gonna hit it as hard as I can. Um when you get a little bit fancier, it becomes harder to kind of um hit that the same
Gotcha.
way, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I gotta bring her up because I've been
Okay.
to her, and you know who I'm going with. Uh, for the audience, I gotta give a shout out to Coach Deuce. Phenomenal coach. Nothing but respect for her knowledge and the way she coaches. I seen it firsthand, top notch. How much of an influence has Coach Deuce played in your game now? Because you seem very comfortable. Again,
Yeah.
I've been in practice. I see how comfortable you feel. How much of a role has she played in that?
She has been one of the biggest like people who've played any like it's hard to put in words, but obviously coming to a new team, being like a rookie, it comes with a lot of you're not sure about some things, you don't know how to kind of present yourself. I was definitely quiet my first couple of practices, and she was like instrumental in me feeling comfortable and finding my place on this team. Um, and it's really hard to find coaches who have a good balance of holding you accountable to make you better and also giving you space when you need grace. And I think Coach Deuce is a an amazing example of that. Like every good quality of a coach I've ever had, she has it. And that's not me gassing her. Like genuinely, I remember coming home from practice and talking to my parents, like, oh my gosh, like I really really like this defensive coordinator. And that's hard coming into a new team. You don't know if you're gonna vibe with the coaches. You don't know, maybe like my coaches in the past move a little differently than these coaches do. That's all a learning curve. And she's like everything that I could have asked for in a defensive coordinator deuces. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
she's
see.
yeah.
I see her get a little rough on you ladies.
Yeah, she
I mean,
definitely
I put the
she
face. I'm
definitely
like,
does
"Oh,
that
thank
to us.
God I'm not playing."
Yeah. But it's
Now,
because she believes in us. She knows that
yeah, of
she
course, of
knows our
course.
potential.
I
So,
always say if a coach doesn't yell at you, they don't care about you.
oh, absolutely.
When
And
they,
I had that conversation with a couple of like rookies. They were like, "Oh my gosh, like I feel like I just keep messing up." And I'm like, "No, you have to worry when she stops correcting you, because that's when she's like more concerned. Like as long as the coach is on you, they believe that you can be better than you are now."
yeah,
So, yeah, absolutely.
we do. And I ask this to every player on your team.
Mm,
We do have to address the elephant in the room. You're in a pay to play league.
mm.
You're an expansion team. But Jay, you're laying down the groundwork for the ladies coming up in the future. How much of a moral responsibility is that for you to put a good product out so they can get paid and they can get the opportunities that you may not never see?
I think it's super important, and I think everybody has kind of their own reasons for playing. For me, the future is important. Um, I don't know if I'll have kids or not. We have this conversation a lot on the team. Some people do have kids and they're playing so that their daughters can have an opportunity. Um, I'm playing more because want I want people to be able to play whatever sport they want. And there is like an air sometimes of like women get like a little bit of a watered down version of like a men's sport. And I don't think that should be the case. Right. So I think you should be afforded every opportunity that your counterparts are afforded. Um, and so I think holistically it's huge to even have like a league like this, or the opportunity to play. There's so many girls on the teams that I've talked to who were like, yeah, I wanted to play in high school too, but my parents wouldn't let me. Um, so I've already had more opportunities than some of the girls
Yeah.
who are a couple of years older than me. And so I've seen it play out because it's played out for me. Like, I mean, before Title IX, like I wouldn't have been able to play either. So I think I am almost a product of like the needle moving forward a little bit.
No,
Maybe
you
this
are
league came a
definitely.
little
Don't
bit
say
after that, but
you are part of the product. Don't. Sorry for cutting you off. Don't discredit
no,
yourself.
you're fine. You're fine. But yeah, I think there are women even on my team who've paved the way for me to be where I am now,
Yeah.
like having the opportunity to play in school versus having to wait until after school. So um, I see it working, um, and so kind of just paying it forward from it working for me.
Yeah, because it's the WNFC is growing,
Mm.
and I've personally seen my own eyes. I'm like, wow, this league is growing. You was on ESPN 3, the league. They had the championship game, the most watched sports event that day. That's huge. But you are right. In terms of football, it's going to take a little more time because women are not getting the acknowledgement they deserve. Is that frustrating for you?
It's extremely frustrating. I think the league has expanded very quickly. Like when you look at the numbers, the league has done extremely well for the 7 years that they've had to do it in. And I can see a trajectory where we're doing even better in years to come. Even now, like I just saw a TikTok today that had like 40,000 views, and it was somebody promoting the league who had never heard of it. So I think we're getting the steam to kind of get more fans and get more people in the seats. And everybody loves football. Like, football is such an American sport. So I think there's a big push to support women's sports. So I think now is a great time for us to be pushing for it. Um, but there's always going to be that frustration that even sometimes when the comparison comes in about like, okay, skill level wise, like we didn't have the opportunity to play at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up to 18. So, or not everybody does anyway. So being a rookie in your 20s or playing for your first year in your 20s is going to look a lot different than playing for the first time when you're 8. And so that is frustrating too. Like, I think this is paving the way to have maybe like a middle school women's team or a high school women's team, because I think those are foundational and getting to a place where we can expand the pro leagues as well.
Gotcha. No, no, but I will agree with you and piggyback off something. There is now every high school, or at least in Jersey and New York that I know because I'm associated in those two states. There's a flag football team for women in Jersey and New York, and I think in Philly too. And it's getting bigger. That's
Mm-hmm.
eventually, that's a sign of growth.
Mm.
So that's a compliment to you. Now we have to talk about the other part.
Okay.
Big season coming up.
Yes, very excited.
Very excited. You go to Florida your first game, correct?
Mm. Yep.
You coming
I'm gonna
home.
go this weekend. Yeah.
This week, then you got a big opener.
Yep.
You have your rivals. You was not a part of that loss.
Right. Right.
But I spoke to Coach Brown, spoke to Coach Deuce. Clearly, they want to win every game.
Mm.
I'm not saying they said this. I'm saying this. There has to be a little bit of spice for that home opener because they bumped you out the playoffs. And they did a last minute drive to go all the way down to win the game on a last
Mm.
second drive. Although you wasn't a part of it, your team didn't make the playoffs. There has to be a little animosity there. There has to be.
I think there's always that little bit of like in the back of your head, and it flows over. So even though I wasn't here, you hear from the vets like, we're not doing this again this year. Like, if you're going to be in the game, you're going to be in the game. So you're going to, we're and it helps to have that fire from people who've been there. I don't think I have to live it to kind of roll off of it.
All
Um,
right.
I
Okay.
think you can take that energy and apply it to I'm the only, well, there's 2 rookies on the defensive line, but one of us is unfortunately injured. So
Okay.
um we I'm with that group a lot, and they always are like, we're not doing this again, we're not doing it again. So I think that it's energy that I feel, even though I wasn't directly there. So I'm with them. I'm 10 toes down for my teammates. So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
if they're feeling it, I'm feeling it too.
Now, his last question of the day.
Okay.
What is your sack total prediction for the season?
Oh, this one's hard because our D line coordinator always says, if we get the tackle in the backfield and it's not you, it's because you did what you were supposed to. Like, you took up 2 linemen to
Absolutely.
your 1 person so that somebody else could get that sack. So I try to approach it with the mindset of not being selfish with the tackle, because as long as they're getting tackled in the backfield, we did our job. That being said, I would love to go I would love to have at least 1 per game. That would be
Okay.
like my, like on the books, 1 per game. That we get the 0.5s here and there, but um,
I got you. I got you. All right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
I think it's a
I'm gonna make a bold
modest.
prediction for you.
Okay, okay,
I got you at 5.5. And defensive,
okay,
I have you as defensive rookie of the year. And I said that to a couple of people. I have you as that. That's my prediction for the league.
okay. Well, that's big shoes to fill, but
Hey, at least you know someone believes in you.
that is true. I do appreciate you believing in me, but I try to take it 1 game at a time, 1 practice at a time. I don't want to get I think you can be confident, but I don't want to get cocky because then I think
Gotcha.
that's
No, no,
where
absolutely. But
yeah.
I
So
think the position that you play, if you don't play with a little bit of arrogance,
yeah,
something
yeah,
is wrong. Because as
yeah,
you saw to
absolutely.
me with Butts, she's, and that's it because I love her game, but
Yeah.
she has that screw loose in her head.
Yep. I
Like
mean,
she
we all
likes
do.
playing.
We all have a little bit of a different screw loose. So like,
Yeah,
Butts like tightens my screw when I need it. I tighten
yeah.
her screw when she needs it. We work well together. So yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
But
But hey, listen, Jay, I want to thank you for your time. I had
yeah,
a lot
thank you
of
as
fun.
well.
I had a lot of fun. We definitely got to do it again.
Absolutely.
All right.